the Prattville Lions Football Review Show with Coach Caleb Ross. Brought to you by Long Lewis Ford, Gibson Tire and Automotive, Dreyer Physical Therapy, and Lynn North, your local All-State agent.
Well, welcome into the Prattville Football Review with head coach Caleb Ross. I'm Will Barrett, here to talk about last night's amazing 37-0 season opener against the Foley Lions. Coach Ross, congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was a big night. It was a great night to be a Prattville Lion. I mean, the crowd, the atmosphere, there was build-up. We heard there would be a lot of people there. Man, they didn't disappoint. I mean, it's something special when you walk out right before you start the game and you look up and the crowd's packed. I mean, nothing motivates a kid, a program, just in general, to look up and see that your community is behind you and supports you. And man, I just really excited and proud that our community come out and supported the boys Friday night.
You and your staff have worked tirelessly in the summer months to bring this program back to a full community support. And I know that had to be emotional. There had to be a lot of emotions running last night when you came out and actually saw everybody in the stands there pulling for you. Talk about the emotions going through last night.
This is something that I try to, people say sometimes, like, hey, one of the players say, Coach, you're kind of emotionless or whatever. And I was like, no, I guess maybe that's just the way I present myself. But when I got to the stadium Friday night or whatever, and I got there right before our first group went out, my dad was there. Well, I saw him, and I don't know, all of a sudden, all this like surreal moment. My father was a 67 grad of Watauga County High. I'm a 97 grad, Prattville High. We both played on that field and at that stadium. And it was one of those real surreal moments where, man, I didn't realize how special this was. And it's amazing. That was really a neat moment. Then, like you said, to go out and realize, man, this community supports football. They want good football. I've always known that. I've always believed that. And that's the reason why we're here. That's why we come back. We decided to because we were in good places, and we come back because we knew what this community believes in. And we still have a long way to go. We all know that. But for one night, man, it was really good to see our community support our kids.
You only get one chance to make a first impression, and Friday night you made a strong impression on this community, and I think a message sent maybe to the rest of 7A that this team is not last year's Prattville team, or maybe even the year before, a shutout to start the season. Talk about how special that is.
It was. Here's what you can look at and say, well, we got some areas to improve on. How good is Foley? There's a lot of legit questions, but here's what I noticed. Our kids played with passion. They played with energy. To me, that showed glimpses of how Prattville used to play. What I remember when I was here as an assistant, and what I have not seen in the last couple of years just watching Prattville from afar, is I saw passion, I saw energy, I saw guys flying around on defense, I saw special teams being well coached and prepared, and guys making plays. And making plays when we needed to on offense. Now, we've got a ton we've got to fix and correct. I mean, and every coach has to. But that's the things I saw. Man, I couldn't be more pleased from. And here's what I love too. Our kids were focused, man. They were focused. Now, the moment was big, and we got to get some of those things corrected. But from Friday morning, from prayer breakfast to pep rally to walkthrough, our kids were focused. Those are the things that make me super proud.
We're going to get into this first half highlights here in a minute, but talk about how this team controlled the ball, controlled the tempo, controlled everything from the opening kickoff to that halftime buzzer. It was all Prattville.
Yeah, it was. We get the ball first, and I thought we were very close to running the opening kickoff back, and I know the highlights will show that, but we were. And then, we don't start out real well first couple plays on offense. We get a false start, we fumble a snap, but then we hit the big play to Taylor, and it really kind of settled everybody down. I think it settled us down on offense. Our kids saw that, hey, we are the better team. Let's go ahead and we go get the screen to Jaden. He gets in the end zone. And, we go for two, something that we're going to work on. We'll do something a little bit different every week on our PAT extra point. We'll mix it up. And then we saw an opportunity to steal a point there, and we took it. So to go up 8-0 right away was something that was huge. And then Foley had the long drive. Now, one of them was aided by a holding penalty on defense, but after that first drive, I felt like we just overwhelmed Foley with our defensive speed and our physicality up front. We controlled the line of scrimmage. We were constantly playing on their side of the line in the backfield, and it's tough. I mean, I was watching our game and just like, man, we've had to block our guys on the offense side of the ball for, I guess, now since May, and I know how difficult it is. And I saw just a lot of guys making plays on defense, and I saw an offensive unit that we made big plays when we needed to. We hit the big play to Jalen down the middle of the field. You know, Kyle Kramer had a good pull and scored there to go in the end zone. We got down and Tylen hit a couple key field goals. I thought, you know, we got a lot of areas to improve on, especially offensively, but we made some big plays when we needed it. And once again, I thought special teams, we had a really good night. Besides really them taking the opening kickoff and running out the midfield, I thought we had a really good night from all phases of our special teams. Now, there's things we got to correct, but we took control of the game, like you said, early, and took it really out of Foley's hands. And man, we kind of, you don't ever want to use the word cruised, but once you get up 27-0, and you don't preach that mindset, but I thought really we were in control of the game from then on out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. Let's take a look at those first half highlights right now.
Got a little bit of time, steps out of some pressure, and now fires downfield. He's got a man down there. It's Thompson. Thompson makes the catch at the 35-30, pushed out of bounds, still on his feet. He's rolling, rumbling, stumbling down his. Edwards drops back to pass, looking downfield. Now fires short at the 10-5. It's Jalen. Close the skate here shortly. They're going to go for two. 3-yard line. He goes into the end zone. The quarter. And here's White again. He's going to give it off to Armstrong. And Armstrong hitting the backfield and drop. Hold is down, the kick is up, and it is blocked, and is on the ground. It is picked up. Oh, still on the wall. It was kind of picked up. Beatty picks it up at the 50, on his feet at the 40, 35-30. Brandon Butts cuts it inside to the 20. Brandon Butts to the 10. Brandon Butts to the 5. Yard line. 4 receivers in the set. Now here, White rolls to the far side, looking downfield, and there's just not much there. He tosses it up, looking for Gideons, and it is in. High snap, goes over the head of the punter. He's rolling back for it. It's at the 10-yard line, and he's going to try to fall on it, and he does back at the 5. He kicks off here. Aha. Kick into the light for Stanley Jensen. Fielded at the 4-yard line and dropped, rolling around at the 2. He's in trouble. The Foley return man's in trouble, and he's dropped at the 2-yard line. The ball's loose. It's in the end zone, recovered by Prattville.
No, it's a safety. They get calling a safety.
Lines, 1st and 20 lines at the 36. And this is just going to be Kid up the middle. But he breaks free to the outside. Kid to the 40. Kid still on his feet. Oh, is it Trey? Yeah, it's 5 and 6. It looks so much alike. Out to the 47-yard line. Malik Smith comes in motion. And Kramer drops back to pass. And he's going to launch one downfield. Got a man open. And it is caught at the 15-yard line. Kid flanks Kramer. Kramer's going to keep it. Kramer faked it. Kid, he's going to keep it. Kramer inside the 5. Kramer looking for the pylon, and he goes in the end zone.
So 27-0 at halftime, Coach, and 9 points coming from special teams. It's got to feel great.
It was, like I said, that was an area that we put a lot of time into special teams like everybody else does, but it's something we try to be detailed. We want to coach special teams just like we do offense and defense, and you got to have guys to make plays, bottom line. And Brandon Butts, but what also on that play, Brandon makes a great play, blocks it, scoops it, scores, but we got great push in the middle too by our defensive line. So it's almost if Brandon don't block it, man, we may get another guy in there to block it, but Brandon makes a great play there. Tylen hits, like you said, hits the field goal. We get the 2-point conversion. I call those points that you're not stealing, but if you count those points, you don't. No one really tries to, I guess, put those in the game plan. Those are 8 points, like you said. That's not a touchdown. That's not a defensive interception, pick 6. Those are 8 points on special teams that you normally don't count for. So, really proud of that. That was huge. And like I said, I guess you include 11 if you had Tylen, and hitting the field goal, but. Really proud of that. There's things that we work on. It was good to see that the effort that we put in on our special teams pays off. So.
Absolutely. Well, it's 27-0 at halftime score. We're going to take a break, step aside, and pay some bills. The Coach Caleb Ross Prattville Lions football review will continue after these words.
This is Caleb Ross, head football coach at the Prattville Lions. I want a special thanks, special shout out to Long Lewis Ford for being a proud supporter of Prattville football. Prattville football and Long Lewis, both built Ford tough.
I think this we advise thing has gotten a little bit out of control. What do you mean?
Hootie, I think I need a change. Should I cut my hair?
Disney World or Las Vegas?
Leather pants or a kilt?
How can I get
What do
my
you think?
Is it all right to wear socks with
sports? Do you
sandals?
babysit?
Let's just stick with what we know. Gibson's Tire Pros. We advise, you decide. Serving the River region for over 35 years and carrying great tire brands like Bridgestone and Firestone.
In our profession, we see a lot of remarkable recoveries. One thing that each success story has in common is the courage needed to take that first step. At Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the expert opinion you need, so we've made that first step free. Sign up for a complimentary screen at any Dreyer location today, and we'll assess your condition and recommend the best next steps to get you back on the road to recovery. Call or click today to schedule your complimentary screen. DreyerPT.com/screen.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now, I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Prattville Football Review with head coach Caleb Ross. I'm Will Barrett. We're talking about last night's stunning 37-0 shutout opener against the Foley Lions. And we're going to introduce a new segment into the program now called Inside the Lions Cage. And today we're going to feature senior defensive lineman JAISON McKEITHAN. And Coach, I know you've had the privilege of coaching JAISON for a while now, and he's quite the character.
He is. You know, when we talked about, hey, we're going to do this new segment, and Stacy said, hey, we're going to present this, who would be a first guy to kind of lead this off? Man, he was the first guy that came to mind. Mm-hmm. You know, first of all, man, he's been a great leader for us. He's an emotional kid, but he's a kid that the other kids listen to. He cares. He's passionate. But I thought he would really do a good job with this, and so I thought he'd be the first one to lead it off, and he did, and did a good job. I'm glad the rest of the Prattville fan base can see the type of kid JAISON is. So.
Absolutely. Let's go inside the Lions cage with senior defensive lineman JAISON McKEITHAN.
'91, JAISON McKEITHAN, D tackle, senior. McDonald's.
What's your go-to order?
Big Mac, 10-piece, sweet tea. Aaron Donald. Coach Eddie Brown. A lot of people, Coach Cash, Young Nudie, Young Jeezy, Gucci Man. Oh, we're going on a picnic, Pratt Park. You know, we're going to feed the ducks, feed you some sandwiches. Hey, Coach Rye, he loving guy. He loves the game. He cares about us all like we are his own kids. Like he's on it. And I know those ninth grade boys are gonna get right as him as the head coach. I don't know if I was a top pad, I'm gonna be out of luck. I'd rather just go out there with no top pad, because going to him, he gonna chew you. He gonna chew you, but that's all I know. I can't even say the words. Good class. I'm gonna have to go with Miss Tom's math class, 7th year. UTC, Chattanooga. Mechanical engineering, do that. Oh, sad then. Ooh, you know, me and my boy Chris, we got some. We gonna cook it up. It's top secret right now, but you gotta see. You gotta come to game 1, Foley game. Friday. Be there.
Now that got his attention. In a hypothetical situation. In a hypothetical situation.
In a hypothetical situation.
And now we step out of the Lions cage, and I know a little bit more about JAISON McKEITHAN. What a guy.
He is, and you kind of see that's why, man. I wanted that guy to be the first one. And, you know, man, we take ourselves seriously, probably too seriously sometimes, but we also tell kids, man, we put a lot of time in this, we're going to have some fun. And I'm glad we're doing that. That's a really neat segment and probably the perfect guy to start this thing out. And we'll rotate it. We'll have some different guys throughout the year that we'll try to do. So I'm really looking forward to that segment.
Absolutely. We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, second half highlights of last night's 37-0 victory over the Foley Lions when the Prattville Football Review continues after these words.
This is Caleb Ross, head football coach at the Prattville Lions. I want a special thanks, special shout out to Long Lewis Ford for being a proud supporter of Prattville football. Prattville football and Long Lewis, both built Ford tough.
I think this we advise thing has gotten a little bit out of control. What do you mean?
Hootie, I think I need a change. Should I cut my hair?
Disney World or Las Vegas?
Leather pants or a kilt?
How can I get
What do
my
you think?
Is it all right to wear socks or
Do you babysit?
Let's just stick with what we know. Gibson's Tire Pros, we advise, you decide. Serving the River region for over 35 years and carrying great tire brands like Bridgestone and Firestone.
In our profession, we see a lot of remarkable recoveries. One thing that each success story has in common is the courage needed to take that first step. At Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the expert opinion you need, so we've made that first step free. Sign up for a complimentary screen at any Dreyer location today, and we'll assess your condition and recommend the best next steps to get you back on the road to recovery. Call or click today to schedule your complimentary screen. DreyerPT.com/screen.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Prattville Football Review. We're here visiting with head coach Caleb Ross. Caleb's halftime is 27-zip. What's the message to your team?
Well, just like and a lot of coaches said it, and this is even back to the days of Bill Clark, but the score is 0-0. Score is an illusion. You know, we don't play to a scoreboard. I know that sometimes that's hard for the fans to understand sometimes, I guess, but, man, we play to our standard, and that means what do you coach to do on each single play? You know, I had somebody the other night come up to me and said, Coach, man, you were coaching hard in the fourth quarter. Y'all were up 37-0. I said, well, to me, it's not about the scoreboard. It's about, are you doing what we're coached to do? And our kids are playing hard, and so but to me, that's the moments when you got to do your most coaching, man. You know, because you don't want something that let it slide because we're winning, and then that come back later in the year when it is a critical moment to hurt you. So there's always teaching points. There's always coaching points. So that's the message. You're up 27-0. You go in and you want that same focus that got them up to that point. Let's stay there. And I told them, went in and said, hey, score 0-0. We play to our standard. Let's go take care of this game, put this thing away. And that's what I wanted to see. And that, you know, I thought we did that. You know, we didn't go score a bunch of points, and we missed some opportunities there. But I thought we picked up where we left off on defense, and we did move the football some in the off. And there in the third and fourth quarter, was really, really proud that, man, we tried to establish a run game. And for us being young on the offensive line, having 4 new starters, having to start a freshman Friday night on the offensive line, that was critical. We needed to just run the football and start getting better at that part of our offense because, you know, it's a work in progress. And I was really pleased with that. Saw that there in the third and fourth quarter. And then at the end, got to play a lot of guys. And, man, it's you know, we have 107 kids on our team. The chance to play 75% of them is huge, man. It lets everybody know, hey, you go put your time in. we're going to get you on the field, get you that live action. That'll help you down the road, building some depth and for the future years.
Absolutely. Let's get into the second half highlights right now.
Foley with 2 receivers to the far side. White wants to pass and just flips it out, incomplete. He was again. Armstrong in the backfield with him. Drops back to pass, looking downfield, and he takes a sack back at the 45-yard line. Willie Willis. White pitches out, incomplete. Had him out in the. That's Taylor. Takes the snap and gets it away, and it is a line drive punt that's fielded on the run by Willis at the 30-yard line. Steps out of bounds. Of course it was. Here's Casey on the second down carry, and he is smacked in the backfield. Lead. And here's White to pass, and White is going down again. He is team sacked in the backfield. That was a 25-yard attempt for P. Ryan. Vancourt to hold, Kramer to snap. 2:13 to play in the third quarter. Snap and hold, and kick is up. Got the distance. And now a quick pitch out to the flats, and it's complete out to the big man Casey. The ball comes loose. Ball is loose, and Prattville had. I appreciate you doing that. 3rd and 9. Here's Kramer loading the shotgun and passing complete out to number 17, McCrary. McCrary makes a man miss, and he gets flies the orange way, the Kubota way. Kramer now gives off to his running back number 21, Willis. Willis got some room across the 40, 35, 30, and out of bounds right there. Al Kramer from the shotgun hands off to number 25. That's Briggs. Briggs rumbling through the middle across the 10 to the 7-yard line. Number Jensen Stadium, 1st and goal from the 7. And here's a give to Briggs again across the 5, rumbling toward the end zone, and he's in. Number 25. P. Ryan for the point after. And it's up and good. A great way to start the Coach Caleb Ross era. Pitching a shutout. Congratulations to J.B. Wallace and his defense for racking up a shutout on opening night. Congratulations to Coach Caleb Ross and the entire staff and the entire program here at Prattville High School. All 106 have dressed out tonight. They carry a 37-0 win home to start the season.
37-0 your final score. Prattville over Foley, but Coach, there's no rest for the weary as we get right back on the horse this coming week.
Yeah, literally too. You're playing the Stanhope Mustangs, so it's kind of fun little tidbit you said there. You know, Stanhope's a rivalry game. It's a team that, man, you're going to a tough place, first of all. Man, that's always a hard place to go play. Man, they've got players. They got athletes. They're going to play hard. It's always been a battle, man. That's a traditional program like Prattville. I mean, it's a neighbor. They're right at, whatever the old battle of the interstate. It's going to be a ball game. We know that. They're going to be ready to play. They had a big win Friday night against Chilton County. They're going to be excited. It's their first home game, so I imagine the stands are going to be packed. Like I said, it's always a tough place to go play. It's going to be a battle, and I think our kids know that and understand that, and we got to have them prepared for that. Just a little bit I've seen on them, man, they're pretty good. It's going to be. Like I said, we better be ready to play. I expect a great environment, and we got to have a good week of practice. It always comes down to that. It always comes down to preparation, and I will say that we're kind of that point in the program when it does matter who your opponent is, but in some ways it really don't. You're focusing on we've got to get better either way. At every position, we got to focus on doing what we do, and then we'll go compare what we do to what who we play that week. But it's a big week. It's one of those weeks you don't have to really go get kids motivated, and we're not in that part of the program where you can take any week off. But it's a big week. It's an exciting week.
Absolutely. And forgot to mention our Buffalo Rock Pepsi player of the game from this past week. Of course, it had to go to a defender when you pitch a shutout, and we selected Brandon Butts.
That's right. Obviously the play he made on special teams is huge, and he had, I think, 4 breakups maybe at the secondary position, and his leadership, his energy, man, it's very, it's contagious, and it just affects the whole team, and it did Friday night. The opening kickoff, he almost runs back, so what a very fitting person to get the player of the week. So.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, big week ahead of us. Next Friday night at Foshee Henderson Stadium, Prattville versus Stanhope. Taken to the road. Short road trip, but a road trip nonetheless. It's a tough place to play. You can catch it all starting at 6:15 on the air at Dixie Country 100.1 FM and on the Prattville Live YouTube channel. If you can't make it out to the ball game, tune us in and listen. But we encourage all our Prattville Lion Nation out there to go out and support this team, getting those visiting stands in Stanhope at Stanhope and support this team. We deserve it. They need it. Let's be there for them. So, for Coach Ross, I'm Will Barrett saying good night. God bless. Go Lions. See you next week.
The Prattville Lions Football Review Show with Coach Caleb Ross. Brought to you by Long Lewis Ford, Gibson Tire and Automotive, Dreyer Physical Therapy, and Lynn North, your local All-State agent.